Hello, global people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. Welcome to Untold Stories 24. Tonight, you will hear a true life inspiring story from our special guest star. Now, before we move on forward, please don't forget to click the like, subscribe, and share button and also the bell icon so you'll be notified for future updates and future events. There is also still time to share this link to your friends and family so they all can hear the fantastic sharing that will be given out tonight. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite our speakers for tonight, starting with our special guest star, a beautiful and successful young lady from Cambodia whose life journey and experience will definitely inspire you all. Let's all welcome and give a big round of warm welcome to Amy from Cambodia. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Yes, I'm glad. How about you, Michael?
I'm good myself. It's so good to see you again, even though through online, not offline.
So much too. I hope we can fly and meet together again in Jakarta.
I hope so too. Now, aside from Amy, I would like to invite other people, the mentors in Amy's life that have supported her throughout her journey. First of all, I would like to invite Samforce from Cambodia.
Hi, Michael. Hi. Pak Onggi, Pagi, all my brother, sister are around the world.
Hi, Samforce.
Yeah.
The next one is Bong Terry, also from Cambodia.
Hi, Michael. How are you? Hi, all.
Hi, Terry. Good to see you again.
Me too.
Yeah. And the next one is Miss Yuliani from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Mike, how are you?
Good, Chi. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. me too. How are you?
Last but not least, the father of us all and the founder of FLG, Pak Onggi Hianata.
Hi, Michael. I'm not your father. I'm your brother. Actually, I'm your younger brother. How are you, Michael?
Good, Pak. How are you, Pak?
I'm fine too.
That's
nice
good.
Meeting you.
Nice to see you again, Pak.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, and now let's get back to our special star tonight, Amy. Hi, Amy.
Yeah, Michael.
Hi. Can you please share with us a little bit about your background and how you got to know this community and this business?
Yeah, Michael, thank you for this time. Actually, I know our FFG community when I was in university at that time in 21. And I know from one of my friends that we studied together at university, Michael.
Oh, okay. So you got to know this community when you were still in school?
Yeah, of course. At that time, I was in school and my father just passed away. So I see the opportunity because at that time, I can say that because of my father's sickness, that's why we cure him. I mean, go to a hospital and we spend some amount of money. And suddenly I know that my family helped them. And I see the business and I feel the hope. I see the hope for me. That's why I make decision discuss with my mom for the money. And also really thank you her that accept me and borrow the money for me to join this business as well at the time, Michael.
Okay. So in order for you to join this business, you borrowed money from your mom or from other people?
Yeah, at that time, I discussed with my mom and then she said she doesn't have the money. So she borrowed the money from the other people for me to join this business. And after that, I meet with our mentor, my mentor. Yes. Suddenly she said, if I want to success, I have to join boot camp and that camp to find who am I and to change myself like that. And then I make decision to go again for boot camp and net camp with borrowing the money. Yeah.
It must not be an easy thing for you to having to borrow money from other people.
Yeah, Michael. Actually, at that time, my mom borrow from the other is not a challenge, but the challenge for me is when I join boot camp, I see myself, who am I, what make me today, and then I make decision to earn the money from the business to pay back for what I have borrowed the money from the other people. Yes.
Okay. Maybe can you can share some more about your experience when you are doing this business? Maybe some challenges that you face, or the ups and downs.
Yeah, Michael. During this, I can say that I really learned in FSG after I've been in boot camp, because at that time, like I mentioned, my father just passed away, and I know that I have no confidence enough, and I really shy. I was in university. Mostly I'm scared. I don't know many people. My friend only the high school friend, something like this. And I keep sign up people, but I cannot sign up them. And during the process mentoring program, hit me a lot, because I'm the one who study. At the time, I can say it's not easy for me to show my face at the market like this. And I feel like not convenient. And when I go from one market to one market, it's also not easy. And during this, I learn and change. And also, I got the word from my mentor that I want my life like this, because at that time I have no money. So the spirit fighting that time, that I have to push myself. I cannot be like play with my life. So I have to make decision to change. This only one that challenge for me. And then when I pass one process, and then another process coming, Michael, at that time, when I become mentor, yes, the money, as we know, that become mentor is not really stable yet, right? And my mom got sick, and this also a challenge for me, because we have the money challenge, and at that I have known. Yes, like you mentioned, I keep fighting in the business. And through the process, I have got the one challenge to another challenge that I'm going to be to share here with you and all as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go back a little bit. You mentioned that you went from one market to another. So you went to share about this business opportunity to the shop owners and things like that.
Yeah, Michael, at that time, I bring the F1 kit to sharing the business. And from one market to another market, from one house to one house like this. But some people, they welcome, some people not welcome, just say like, oh, where you from? Yes, I don't know you. So don't come, something like this. And the feeling at that time, Michael, it's not easy like that. But I can say that at that time, I really learn and grow a lot to how to welcome, like how to dress up. I really changed during this process, and confident as well, Michael.
But none of these shop owners, they like threw raw fish or sandals at you to throw you out of their shop, right?
No, Michael, if throw, you will see on my face something. But no.
Okay, that's good. You mentioned you had this challenge. Your mom had a health challenge, and
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on that? And you said you had no money, but what was the challenge was, and did you require a special treatment or anything like that?
Yeah, Michael, actually at that time, I also have the support from my relative, bring her to Vietnam at that, and also during that time, the sickness of her, I'm not understand clear, but it really shocked me at that time as well, that also the untold that I never share in anybody, but I believe this story can help people, especially that they have this. At the time, I really shocked. Yes, I got to know that my mom got HIV, Actually, I didn't imagine about this. I can say because my father passed away around 5 years already, and we already checked everything all together, but I cannot expect something this happen. So during that, I feel no hope. I feel what my life gonna be, and it's like I have been in boot camp already, but suddenly it shocked me. It really hit me. I cry a lot, but I thank you FSG during this. All my leader that together with me, consult with me, build my mindset. Because at that time I can say it's not easy for me. Just my father passed away, and at that age, and I need to support the family, and I got to know that. And yes, at that time, I can say it's not easy for me as well, Michael. Yes.
So you were in the middle of doing your mentoring program, and then your mom got sick. I remember you saying you had to treat her in another country, in Vietnam.
Actually, Michael. Actually, at that time, I already passed a
the
mentor.
well-being of your siblings.
Yes. And I pray during this. I pray that I can do business more, and I can build more leader in my business. So because of my mother sick, and I need money, I can say I need money. At the time, I really don't understand what is my mission, what I need to do. I only think that if I can help myself, I help my mom, my family, I can make the money, I can support her more, make her happy like this during that. Yes. On the process, Michael, at that time I become mentor already. But still, yes, of course, the money is still limited for me. And I need to support the whole family like this.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 5 siblings. Yes, I have the picture as well. Yeah, I have 5 siblings.
And from all your siblings, you are the only one that's working?
At that time, my sister already working 2 already. Yes. So we have each other to support. Yes. Me is the...
You see the picture here.
Yes.
Okay. And are you the oldest of them all?
Yes, I am the oldest of all of them.
Oh, I cannot imagine what you went through. You having doing the mentoring program and also having to support your family, right?
Yeah, Michael. Actually, at that time, I can say that during the mentoring program, my appearance over there when that time. Yes, this is my family, my mom and my grandmother, and I learned the people skill. I do it because I see that if I think only myself, what happening in my life like this, I cannot do anything. And it reminds me about the boot camp, because boot camp really changed me a lot. And at that time, I asked myself, am I because of this? I give up myself. I give up what I have done in FSG. I give up all what I have made, and I see that boot camp is I born again. Why just only this happening? And then my leader also build my mindset that this just only one disease. I have to be strong. The other also, even many diseases that they need to drink the medicine, even her condition, she still can be healthy. Just only I do my part, and everything leave it to my God. Yes.
Oh, great. So you were able to achieve, become a mentor. And then, of course, as you progress along with your leadership stages, are there any challenges that you face during the process?
Yeah, of course, Michael. At that time, my team not really respect me, and I have to build to grow. I have to grow myself in the program of FSG, and especially at that time, I remember someday I eat only 5 eggs per day. Yes, and my mom and my grandma sometimes ask me what am I doing, and like it look like always see me like tired, leave from the house early morning and night time back home. Many people, the neighbor around me, always see me leave and come at night time. And it's some like the negative talk, so many, and especially inside me that I can do this or not. Yes, like this. Yeah.
But you were able to shield yourself from all these negative comments, negative thoughts surrounding you.
Michael, I can say and really thanks so much with FSG system, because FSG system, all the event, Michael, all the event I joined, mostly I joined that I learned from one event to another event, and especially I consult with my leader. At the time when I have the problem, I consult with them. I really say thanks so much, Paungi, all the leader in overseas and in my country, all the leader. Yes, I really thank them a lot that they see me is not like the girly, the kid, the girly, and they treat me to be a mature one and to be a leader like this. So I can say the process like sometimes the feeling I am the young, and then she tell me to do like this. The first is not easy for me, but I can say that I have to do something like this. If I want to change, I have to do. If I want to change, I have to do. So I change, and then I make decision to do this. What have my leader tell me to do, I do it.
Yes, I can definitely relate to you about being the youngest and not, having people who are older than you not listen to you. Yes, but that's for a different time. Right now, we're here to talk about you. And how is are all your family okay now? Your grandmother and the others?
Yeah, Michael, what I have mentioned when my grandma alive, but now she already passed away in this year on May. Yeah, Michael. During her, also my another process as well in mentoring program in FSG to another level, Michael.
Can you please share with us what process that you went through during when your grandmother passed away?
Yeah, actually, during that time, I keep fighting on the process mentoring program, like I mentioned previously. When this year, before that, I become a SM already. And when my grandma become got sick again at that time, because I become SM, so the money, the financial is more better, and I feel like yes, I can support my family more. The living standard is a little bit can say that I can eat something more better than before, and I can bring them to visit somewhere like this. But suddenly it's another shock me again that she suddenly got sick, and also all the relatives not support me to cure her, because it might be spend a lot of money. But I feel that I have to do something with her. I cannot let her like this. I cannot just see her sick and I don't do anything. So me and the family make decision to bring her to hospital. But at that time, Michael, I can say I lost hope again. It come back again. I lost hope. I don't know how to do. It's like I am alone, and I didn't talk with all my leader, and I become like nobody listen to me. It's like nobody understand me like this. but it is my fault at the time. I can say that I should not be like that. But during that time, yes, of course, I become like disconnect with my leader. But I thank all my leader at that moment. I can say they raised me up, whatever I had it. And one moment that we meet together, during the process, I already meet them. And in this process as well, it clicked me to see myself that I have to learn to be trust, and I have to learn to love and not only love myself. And this also clicked me to see who am I, what is my mission in FFG. So I leave my father, I leave my grandma to the God above, yes, and I trust the process, and I strengthen my mind, what I have learned from FFG, and receive and apply, yes, apply all what my leader, and especially I receive the love from them. At the time, I can say I like the love one at the time, don't know, and because all my leader, they put the heart for me, yes, and they talk with me a few hours to recover me, the inside me out. And then I see that, yes, I have to do something. I have the mission. So this is the click moment that I become grand mentor, that I cannot think only myself and my family, but I have something to do more. It's not just only like this. And come back, I really focus to build my team, to build my mentor. And at the moment, I learned to do focus and teamwork. Especially, I really consultation and really very humble. Listen to my leader and also go deep into my team, to hand in hand, heart and heart together with them. And I can feel the love. I really can feel that time that, yes, this is the love that I have, that I want, and the mission that only I myself can do myself, but I can do for the other people as well. Yeah, Michael.
We saw some pictures of you taking care of your grandmother. How long was she in the hospital, and were you the only one that had to take care of her, or how did it go?
Yeah, actually at that time, because like we know in COVID season, so we really at the hospital really restrict. So only one person that need to take care of her. I can say at that time, only one, me, 24 hours, take care of her, everything. Yes, take care of her, everything, because she cannot get up. She cannot get up. But whatever my situation and thank everything, because I have learned and the mindset in FFG, even I take care of her, because I am the support of the family. Whatever, even I'm down, even I'm busy to take care of my grandmother, but I have to do the business. At the time, I keep fighting. I take care of her, and then I'm fighting in the business as well. Just only the energy is like, it's like stuck that time. But because I need to support my family, and at that time, I already have team. So I really manage my mind that, yes, my grandmother is the one I love, but I have the responsibility for my team. They come into my team. They come into me. They are my brother and my sister, that I cannot leave them, that whatever in situation am I have to see my team.
Oh. I bet in your situation, a lot of people would have given up already, but you were able to persevere through the challenge, and also with the support of your uplines, your FFG family, and you were able to pass through all those challenges. I think this also shows that system that FFG is teaching us, it really works. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Michael, actually, I really love and really thank to FFG founder Paonggi here and all the leader here and all my leader, even they are not here, because of them, because of the system. Like I sharing previously, I come from nobody. I have no money. I borrow the money from the people. I can say at that time I'm really no confident enough. I have many rules. I'm shy. I don't know how to do, and my appearance also is. I don't know how to dress up. I don't know how to talk with people. I mean, I have nothing. Even the experience of working or doing any business, I don't have. Michael, I don't have anything. Just only 21 years old. But FFG system really proven through the process. I learned step by step. I learned how to do welcome 21 day. I learned how to prospecting. I learned to do mentoring program. I learned how to build next leader, build mentor. I learned how to make the dream book. I learned to break through myself. One thing I really learned and I remember all in my mind when sharing in at that time our overson. Yeah, he mentioned about when you can dream it, you can achieve it, and you write the dream, put the picture, feel it, and go to the showroom or go to the house, your dream like this. At that time, I'm really fear. It's just like, well, I don't know I can do it or not, but because of Pak word and I listen to the DVD personal growth program, I break through myself step by step. I can say I can break through my mind and I keep dream and I believe through FFG system, I will achieve it one day. Yes.
And I heard that through FFG, you've traveled to many countries now.
Yeah, Michael. Yes, actually, I have been to Jakarta. Yes, to Indonesia, your country. Yes, I have been to Korea, Thailand, to Egypt, and thank you all the leader. I have been with them as well. Yes, and yes, I'm sure of this, and I believe, and yes, I will go more with all my leader.
Great, thank you. Not to cut your story short, but I think the audience would also like to hear about how you grew, and about your process journey. I would like to invite one of your mentors. I think Sampors, are you here with us?
Yeah, I'm here, Michael. Thank you.
Hi, Sampors. Can you maybe share a little bit with us about what kind of difference that you saw Amy before and Amy now? What do you think?
Okay. For me, I really appreciate of Amy. Yes. When I know her, she is just a girl. Yeah. She is just a girl, but with a graduate with 2 university. But she really see the big picture in FFG. Yeah. In 21 years old, as a normal girl, just like this age, enjoy life, go with friends, something like that. But in her age, 21, she have to respond for her family like that. And like she said, she very shy to talk to other, and she think that she is young. So when she talk to other prospect or want to sign up people, she have fear, have fear. But she really breaks through to do it. She really breaks through everything. She breaks through to do it, and she can sponsor all people, young people, like all kind of people. She can sponsor because of her breakthrough. Yeah, and before you cannot act like a girl, but for now act like a leader. Yeah, and for her process, I really appreciate her so much. Yeah.
I'm sure you were also there during her mentoring program when her mother got sick. how did she behave during those hard times? How was she able to withstand the challenges and keep on going, not giving up?
Yeah, Michael. That's time mentoring program really like for normal people that like some graduate or some that they have work, they have like they know many people, but for Amy, she very fresh graduate and she is the one that very shy, so she don't know many people, and the one that she know only like a friend in university also, so she don't have much people to prospect like that, so she went to many market like she said before. Yeah, she really breaks through to do it, and all the time one time that my leader also said, and I know that also that one time she said that sister, I don't have prospect anymore. I cannot go anymore. And she keep crying like that. So that time really challenge for her. Yeah, that time really challenge for her because like she really stuck. Like that time really stuck that I don't have more friend anymore. How can I sponsor? How can I complete this mentoring program like that? So we really push her that how many people like that. You have to go morning like that. So she go all the market and some they don't show something, but they really not welcome her like that. Not welcome her, but she really breaks through to do it. Yeah, until she complete. And the last point, last criteria, as we know that in mentoring program, she don't have any people to call anymore. And that time we have line. Yeah, maybe you know line. We have like a nearby friend, and then she said, like this, said the phone like this, so you will get the new contact. So she said like that and start to call and then prospect to close the last criteria. Yeah, amazing that process, and really prove that really Amy really a fighter. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Sam, for Amy.
Yeah.
So since you ran out of friends to call, you basically approach complete strangers, right?
Yeah, actually, like my mentor sharing my call, I call all, even the yellow page.
Yeah, yellow page book. Yeah.
I took the yellow page and I call. I call from one to another one. Yes, even the billboard from the house, the shop house, I collect the number and then I call. Yeah.
What pushed you to do that? Or why? For some people it's not easy to call or talk to total strangers. But what drove you to make those decisions, to make those calls?
Yeah, Michael, I can say at that time, one reason I can say that I really want to the reason of financial is one part, and another reason when I back from boot camp, because at that time I feel something touch my heart that I feel touching, and I feel I want to serve, I want to help other people like this. And only one way to become mentor. So my leader said, become mentor. And just, you need to do like this. And I mean that because the money, because the reason of I want to be true, yes. And then I call, especially like you heard the last one. How come I fight from the beginning and then I give up the last one? And also, this is my character. I'm not the one who like lukewarm, go or not. But I am the one that if I say I do it, yes, I do. I know the process is not easy. I can say sometimes because I'm the one is a logic. Sometimes my leader talk to me, share to me. It look like I really say sorry to all my leader as well. That sometimes I look like how it's like how really I remember the last that I said my leader 3 to 4 sit around and then she talk explain and then I become like the breakthrough one. I don't know what inside me but because the courage, because all the positive word and many things at the time, like so many. And then I say, yes, okay, I can do it. And after that, I asked her, what I need to do next? What I need to do? And then she said, you can do it. Believe miracle will happen. And then I just the flow. Yes, like this, Michael.
Okay, great. Now I'd like to invite Bong Terry. Terry, yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Michael.
My next question for you. How did you see Amy grow as a person, especially during her second challenge that you mentioned when her grandmother passed away, but that was also at the same time when she was in the process from becoming from senior mentor becoming a grand mentor. How did it happen?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Okay, agree with all the process that just now Paul mentioned. She is really a fighter because talking about her age, she is the young generation, 21 years old, start to responsible everything. So one thing that I see her grow from time to time, start from the beginning until she joined the boot camp, and then she become mentor, then she become also the boot camp crew, and then the last process I see that is really hit her so hard because what is inside her actually is go back to the beginning when the father passed away. Yes, she's like not really take the life that she got that time, so like kind of blaming everything, why me, and then there is one time also before the process she become SM when she mentioned just now about her mom got very sick that time. So that time is like what I see inside her is the old root, because what I see in her family is like the grandma also alone, taking care of the family, and then coming to her mom. Her mom is the only daughter, and then there is a root of dependent, there's like they depend on someone in the family, like the mom depend on the children to take care, or the wife depend on the husband, something like that. So I see that root. The last part of her process to become grand mentor, before that, when she become SM, I see that root come up again. She's like the fighting go down, the feeling of dependent, why me, all back again, the self-pity, everything, but really amazing FFG system, because from time to time the consultation is really clear one by one, together with our leader. Of course, here we have Chia Chu and Pa Ongi. So that route that is really pull her back, from really becoming the one she is right now. That is really make her like, from me, I see that the poor girl, like not a kind of poor mindset, but something that is haunting her, like, okay, want to call her back. Okay, you have to stay here, cannot move forward. Poor from generation to generation to generation, something like that. That kind of, So the last process she become grand mentor is when the moment that go back a little bit. She really disconnect from us that time, She really feel all the disaster in her life by all her again, and then she meet it again and again and again and again. The challenge keep coming, hit her again and again. So she really disconnect from us until one day, she really made decision to open up everything, consult, and then that time for me, I really salute her, because she is considered a young generation, the one that really mature, at her age, and of course through FFG system. So she really find the right way, the right decision that time. So she know that her job is not about her family anymore, like the family is of course her beloved one, the process that she need to love them, taking care of them, and also the family is also her dream, the big dream, that also the fighting spirit, the power to encourage her to fight. That's why she become today. So when the moment that she really made decisions, she see the big picture in FFG. I can say that is the magical moment that she become grand mentor.
Wow. Amy mentioned earlier that she was a very logical person. Did you, as her upline, did you experience any challenges with that part of her?
I think it is also in us as her mentor also. So when we see her, also we see some part of us inside her. She's not, because she was a smart student, you know, she got 2 scholarships. Yeah, she was very smart and logic, and then also super arrogant as well. But the way that the way that we can see her arrogancy, what I call is silent arrogant, you know. She don't act aggressive in front of us, but look cool, but not really listen, you know, not really follow. Yeah. And then she like, okay, look very humble to all of us. Yeah, look very humble, very obey. But inside her is like something that's not easy for her to accept, you know, because for me, I think because maybe she was the scholarship student to university. So some kind of pride inside her. I can become the top role student now. Who are you? Something like that, you know. But for somehow, from time to time, yes, I see that. Yeah, she learned from the real can say that breakthrough in her life, because from one experience to one experience, she see her own result. You know, can say that from nobody, you know, with the debt, and then she alone after the father passed away, and then the mom sick, and then her grandmother sick. So she become like the leader of the family. So when she see that, yeah, after she follow the system, she listened to all the consultation, then she got another breakthrough. She go up to another level. She achieved something, especially in terms of financial as well. Yeah.
So all those process in her life actually made that wall of arrogance and logic came crumbling down, basically.
Yeah. The result prove it all. So she see the result by herself. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Terry. Now and then, like Terry mentioned earlier about Amy's generation, I would like to invite Miss Yuliani, or who I like to call Chiang, to discuss about this matter. Actually, Chiang, are you there?
Yes, me here, Mike.
Okay, great.
Yes.
How are you, Chi?
I am always good, and you are the handsome boy, handsome man in the world, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to talk about generations with you, Chi. I mean, we know there are many from the previous generation, there are like generations that are called like baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and so on and so forth. Now, a person like Amy, who is, I think she is 27, 28 years old now, I believe.
It's 27, 28, between the generation of millennial and then to the Z generation.
Okay.
Between.
So
yep.
Yeah, not to generalize or to stereotype, but usually I read somewhere that people in the millennial or Gen Z are like the instant generation. They want instant gratification and not willing to go through the process. But I don't think we saw that in Amy. She was willing to undergo the process, the journey in her life to make her grow as a leader and as a person. What do you think about that, Chi?
That's why actually this one come up to me in the couple of weeks, okay, regarding this generation. You can just also see the history of people all over the world, okay, and then also in Cambodia, also in Indonesia, I think in Asian and everywhere. You see the baby boomer one. We are in the war situation. We are fight, and then it's a lot of people also have to survive, and then they really have to push from the poverty, from their background, crazy one, and then become is really from minus to become a hero. And then after that, also going to that like my generation, okay, the generation X. We also see our parents like that. But our parents also take care of us, right? But we also see that the fighting field, we also still on the way that it's okay. We have to fight, but also from the zero, okay? Sometimes that when we are become rich, we also don't want our children like that, you know? And all this technology, all the things actually is really good right now. I mean, that good. Everything we can ask that the Papa Google, okay? Everything can be instant. Going to the millennial one, and then going to the generation Z, and then going to the Alpha. I really concerned about this because of what? From the generation Y, millennial, it's like this. A lot of parents don't want that the children also be what? It's like being poor. A lot, a lot. So mean that we thought that they realized also it push us also is you just come, okay? Let Papa do it, let Mama do it. And then the children also can be just stay calm. I see a lot of young generation right now, 2021, still don't know how to fight. I remember my time, I believe that also Pak Onggi also is through the story, the Terbang movie, yeah. It's really fight. But right now, a lot of young generation like this, Mike. And then also everything now is about instant one, include that is finding the money, But the question that how that this young generation have to be survive in the field. A lot of money can come, a lot of easy way can come, but one time that the tsunami come, boom. So how to survive? Because when I asked Ami regarding this, Ami background actually is she born in that is a social family. Okay, he can just can say that it minus. Also can say that it's like what of the leader of her say that she's coming from the zero to going to be the hero now, going to the hero. Can you imagine her background actually push her? She's the eldest one, but she's really very young, baby leader. Even that you can ask her, she ever also tried to suicide, with this sort of situation. And like what Terry said, her background actually, she actually starting also because of in the boot camp, she forgive her father. Can you imagine after forgive also that is she find out that the mother also get the HIV? How actually is that the burden inside? Because of father, the idol. That's why it's so important we become a mentor, because sometimes a mentor, a father, a parent, because our children see us. The first idol that we see actually is our parents. Can you imagine if the parent is not fighting spirit there, it's not survival one? How about that our children become a spoiler one, This is I really concerned. And then for me, Ami is like she has to know today what she talk, what she speak, actually for the generation for our future generation. It show that I survive. And the mentoring program actually is a life survive program. And then all the leaders actually based on the experience. So can also is bring. She is the eldest, but she is youngest. I can just check it. She is actually is number a long chain of the leadership in here in our FMG. More or less like that, So mean that if she not forget the father, maybe that we have to take a lot of things to pull her. I remember that time also we talked in the office. Just now I asked Terry because Terry enforced. I remember that as a boot camp, she got it tough in her life. And on the process of mentoring program, that's a pass. That is a process that she take out one by one the route. That's why when she felt the situation of a mom like that, and when the grandma like that, she have a power bank, the biggest power bank through that the upline, all the leaders, and of course the community FFG. So important, Mike. So if the young generation like this can also lead people, lead the young generation, we need the really young generation take a leadership with the really very big fighting spirit and survive. So when we get the tsunami 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, even 10 times, she still stand and say that, and I'm here. It's like that, Mike.
Yeah, so it shows that leadership is not determined by age, as is shown by Amy, even though she's so young. I believe she is the youngest grand mentor. Yeah, she, yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
All the process, I think, yeah. And then it's actually, yeah. But if she is in the ocean and she go drown, but the best thing that she trust the process and trust all the parents in the FMG. And then the most important also, she trust, Mike. She trust. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Chi. Now I would like to invite the founder of FFG and the creator of Bootcamp, Pak Onggi Gianata.
Yes, Michael. How are
Thank you,
you?
Pak. Hi, Pak. Good to see you again.
Yeah, happy to see you.
Yeah, you too, Pak. Now, as the founder of FFG and the founder of Bootcamp, Amy mentioned how Bootcamp has benefited her life so much by attending Bootcamp. Would you please share your insights about what you think about Amy, her growth, her journey, and about Bootcamp also, Pak, please?
Yeah, what I see from the story, the untold story just now, Amy sharing, really fantastic. This is a very good example for the young generation. Actually, Amy, if I'm not mistaken, is Gen Z, generation Z. It's not millennial anymore. She is younger than millennial. Okay, and in 21-year-old, she started to take the leadership of the family, especially in finance. And this kind of process is really fantastic. Starting from the father passed away, and mother has a challenge for grandma, and at the same time, she also fight for the next level, for the achievement of the FFG mentor, senior mentor, grand mentor, and so on. In this age, 21 and 22, 23, most of the young people still playing game, maybe in cafe and so on. But Amy already thinking about how to save people's life. Wow, amazing. For me, like you say just now, Michael, that leader is not based on how old, how young you are. It's a decision. And what we learned from Amy sharing is she decided to become a leader in the family, in her life. And what I see the good thing is about this, because Amy surrounding by the good people. Okay, surrounding by the good community in her country, especially we know in Cambodia, we have Bong Terry and husband Vincent, and the rest of the leaders in FFG in Cambodia. I cannot mention the name one by one. Actually, Amy also benefit from the community. So if you ask me, like now, yeah, just now you asked Jiatu also Chiang about the question. According to me also, because a set of bootcamp and the community. If Gen Z, like say the Gen Z or millennials, if they gone to the wrong community, their life, yeah, maybe will end up. We don't know where it have been. And just imagine if Amy is not in the positive community, what happened? Challenges and can be commit suicide. Just now sharing, almost commit suicide at that time. Yeah, what I see and the role of the upline is very important also. Bong Terry and the rest. Yeah, this is what I can see. And again, Amy is a very good example for the young generation, and she can achieve this level, grand mentor in the very young age. And from the poor, she also shared that she came from the very poor mindset, no confidence, and all the what you call the minus of her. But today we can see one by one she the breakthrough, and now she become one of the leaders in our FFG family around the world even. So congratulations, Amy. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak. Amy also mentioned that she had to undergo a lot of process in order for her to grow, to become a leader and grow as a person. Do you think, Pak, a person become, successful or become a great leader without undergoing those processes?
Yeah, I think every good leader in any field, whether in politics, whether in business, whether in anything, according to me, a good leader must gone through the hard part in his process or her process. You can see Nelson Mandela, the very simple example, the hardship gone through so very hard. And Nelson Mandela is one of the great leader in this world. People know how powerful, how great he is. Okay, we can give so many examples. So I believe all the process, actually sometimes the process could be hard, but the result is fantastic. One of these simple example in this case is Amy. Amy gone through so many process, but today I can say that the earning from Amy is more than money. I believe it's more than money. And that kind of experience during the process then will bring her to the next level. We don't know in the future. She could be a great, fantastic leader, either in FFG, could be in another kind of activity. This is what I believe.
Great. Thank you, Pak Onggi.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to Amy. Amy, are you there? Oh, hi, Amy. That was so great hearing your mentors share their thoughts about you. But because due to a limited time, are there any words you want to share to your people at your age, or maybe older, younger than you? And I think you want to also share like a video or something.
Yeah, Michael, actually, I also have. But first of all, I would like to thank so much to FFG founder, Pak Onggi, and all my leaders here, and all my leaders, even they are not here. I really love them so much that I can say, because FFG community, all my leaders, my life, I can say my life born again, like she sharing before FFG. I ever think suicide already, but through the process and especially FFG system help me, give me the love, give me the life, and I can see that me is the one that I survive, and I really prove that in FFG system I can do it. And I see I have mission, and I want to send a message to all the young generation that our life is, we need to fight, but it's priceless to fight, and it's worthy. And especially, I am in FFG, I have the mission, and I want to tell all the young generation, you have your own value, you have your unique, you have your own power. Just stand up, find the right community, find who you are, and have the right vision and mission. You will get to know you can do it, and you can bring the light to the world. Yes, this is what I really want to say and send to all the people. And the most, I really thank FFG, and especially thank you to my family that always support me, that always trust me in the process. Whatever I have, and I have anything or I'm not yet have, they trust me. Really thank a lot for this. Yeah, thank you, Michael.
Oh, Michael, before you go on the video show.
Yeah, but
yeah, maybe I can say the last part of the sharing just now, Amy, the message of Amy. Everybody, if you have the friends, or the maybe your family, a relative has this kind of Gen Z, maybe I think maybe you can cut all the video if you don't need in the explanation in the story at the beginning, only cut the last part, this part, the message from Amy, and send to the young generation. Yeah, from the Gen Z generation. So because it's very important, this kind of mentality, because now as also you also share out, or Yuliani also share, and let's say that Gen Z now is the what call the instant mindset. Okay, they are not really gone through this kind of process, but this simple message from Amy, I think if I were you, I will send it to my friends, maybe my friend's daughter or sons. I think this is good. Her message is the powerful, the last part. Okay, this is my message. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Pak Onggi. Now, Amy, I believe you have a video to share with the rest of us.
Yeah, Michael, I have the video. It's flying.
Wow, what an inspirational video, Amy. Thank you. Due to limited time, now I think we have to end tonight's session. But before that, I would like again to thank you, Pak Onggi, Miss Yuliani, Terry, Samforce, and of course Amy for sharing her wonderful story to us, the rest of the world, so we can be more inspired in our lives. I would like also to re-invite all the speakers so we can together we can send and share love to everybody. Please make heart sign to everybody. Send love to all people in the world, especially during this time where everybody needs all the love they can get. Thank you. So that's all from us tonight. Thank you again for watching. Until we meet again in the next Untold Stories. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.